The rain was coming down in heavy sheets, drenching the streets of Portland that cold November evening. People hurried past with umbrellas, their heads down, rushing to escape the storm. But on the side of the road, next to a flickering streetlight, a young pregnant woman collapsed onto the wet sidewalk, her grocery bags spilling, oranges rolling into the gutter. Cars drove by. No one stopped. Until one man, a single father driving home from his late shift, saw her through the rain. Something inside him told him to pull over. He had no idea that stopping that night would change both their lives forever. Before we dive into this emotional story about kindness, don't forget to hit that button if you believe kindness still matters, and share your thoughts, and your support helps us bring you more true, inspiring stories that touch the heart. The man's name was a 34-year-old single dad who worked as a night janitor at a local high school. Life hadn't been easy for him. After losing his wife to cancer 3 years earlier, Ethan had been raising his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, on his own. That night, he was tired, his hands rough from cleaning floors, his eyes heavy from lack of sleep. The heater in his old Chevy truck barely worked, and the windshield wipers squeaked as they fought the storm. He was thinking about getting home, tucking Lily into bed, maybe heating up some soup, but then he saw her. Through the blur of rain, Ethan spotted what looked like a person crumpled near the sidewalk. He slowed down. When the next flash of lightning lit up the street, he realized it was a woman, and she wasn't moving. Ethan's heart kicked into gear. He pulled over, threw on his hazard lights, and ran through the rain toward her. "Hey! Are you okay?" he shouted over the storm. The woman looked up weakly. Her clothes were soaked, her face pale, her long hair stuck to her cheeks. I'm fine," she tried to say, but her voice cracked. Her hand was resting protectively on her swollen belly. Ethan's stomach dropped. "You're pregnant," he said. "You shouldn't be out here." She tried to stand, but stumbled again. Without thinking, Ethan caught her. She was shivering so hard he could feel it through her wet jacket. "Come on," he said gently. "Let's get you out of the rain." He helped her to his truck and wrapped his spare jacket around her shoulders. Inside the cab, the woman sat trembling, her breath shallow. Ethan turned up the heat and handed her a half-empty water bottle from the cup holder. "Thank you," she whispered, her eyes filling with tears. "I didn't mean to cause trouble. I was walking home from the bus stop and I felt dizzy." "It's no trouble," Ethan said softly. "I'm Ethan. What's your name?" "Maria," she said. "Maria Lopez." He noticed her hands were red from the cold. Her grocery bags were still on the sidewalk, contents spilled across the puddles. He ran out and gathered them, tucking them carefully into the back seat. When he got back inside, Maria looked like she was about to cry again. "Thank you," she said. "Everyone just drove past. I thought maybe no one would stop." Ethan sighed. "A lot of people are in a hurry these days," he said. "But nobody deserves to be left out in the rain like that." As the minutes passed, Maria's color slowly returned. She told him she was 8 months pregnant and worked part-time at a grocery store. Her husband had been deployed overseas, and she'd been managing everything alone. That night, she'd gotten off work late, missed her bus, and decided to walk home, a 3-mile trek through the storm. "I thought I could make it," she said, embarrassed. "But I got dizzy halfway." Ethan nodded. He understood too well what it meant to be tired and alone, trying to make things work with nobody to lean on. "Where do you live?" he asked. She gave him an address across town. "It's just a small apartment," she said. "That's not far," Ethan replied. "Let me drive you home." Maria hesitated. "I don't want to bother you." "It's no bother," Ethan said firmly. "I've got a daughter at home. I'd want someone to help her if she were in your shoes." The drive was quiet for a while, just the hum of the rain and the low crackle of the heater. Ethan glanced over occasionally. Maria had her eyes closed, her hand resting protectively on her belly. "You're going to be okay," he said gently. When they reached her building, Ethan insisted on walking her inside. The hallway was dim, the carpet worn, but her apartment was warm and cozy. There were baby clothes folded neatly on the couch and a small crib set up in the corner. "Do you have anyone who can check on you tonight?" he asked. Maria shook her head. "No one nearby." Ethan hesitated. "I don't want to intrude, but I'm a pretty good cook. How about I make you something warm before I go?" Tears welled up in her eyes. "You've done enough already." "Maybe," he said, smiling gently, but I know what it's like to come home to an empty kitchen." She nodded, and he started rummaging through her small pantry. There wasn't much, some canned soup, pasta, and bread. He heated the soup on the stove, made her a bowl, and sat with her while she ate. Maria's eyes softened as she looked at him. "You must be a good dad," she said quietly. Ethan smiled faintly. "I try," he said. "My daughter's 6. Her name's Lily. She's my whole world." When Maria finished eating, Ethan wrote down his phone number on a scrap of paper. "Just in case," he said. "If you ever need a ride or help with something, call me. Day or night." She thanked him again, tears glistening in her eyes. "I don't know how to repay you." "You don't need to," Ethan said. "Just promise me you'll take care of yourself and that little one." A few weeks passed. The stormy night became just another memory until one Saturday morning, Ethan was at home making pancakes with Lily when his phone rang. It was Maria, her voice trembled with excitement and fear. "It's time," she said. "I'm in labor. The cab I called hasn't come. Can you?" "Say no more," Ethan interrupted. "I'm on my way." He called his neighbor to watch Lily and rushed out the door. When he arrived, Maria was waiting by the entrance, gripping her hospital bag. He helped her into the truck, his heart racing. "Just breathe," he said, trying to keep her calm. "You've got this." The hospital was only 15 minutes away, but it felt like forever. Maria clutched his hand the whole way, and Ethan stayed by her side until the nurses took over. A few hours later, as he waited in the lobby, he heard the cry of a newborn echo through the hallway. A nurse appeared with a tired but glowing smile. "She asked for you," the nurse said. Ethan walked in, his throat tight. Maria was lying in bed, a tiny baby girl wrapped in pink blankets resting on her chest. "She's perfect," Maria whispered. "Her name is Grace." Ethan smiled through tears. "That's a beautiful name." Maria looked up at him with gratitude that words couldn't express. "You were the first person who showed me real kindness when I needed it most. I wanted you to meet her, because without you, I don't know what would have happened that night." From that day on, Ethan and Maria stayed in touch. Lily loved visiting baby Grace, and the two families slowly became part of each other's lives. Over time, their friendship grew into something deeper, not rushed, not forced, but built on trust, kindness, and shared struggles. Years later, when they stood together at a small backyard wedding surrounded by close friends and family, the sky was bright and clear. Lily stood proudly as the flower girl, and baby Grace toddled down the aisle. Ethan squeezed Maria's hand and whispered, "All because of one rainy night." Maria smiled, tears glimmering in her eyes. "Because of kindness," she said. "Because you stopped." Sometimes, it takes just one small act of kindness to change the course of two lives. Ethan didn't stop that night because he wanted recognition. He stopped because his heart told him to help, because he remembered what it felt like to need someone and have no one there. We never truly know what people are going through. Maybe the stranger next to you is carrying more than you can see. Maybe your simple act of kindness, a ride, a smile, a helping hand, could be the thing that saves them. So, the next time you see someone struggling, remember this story. You might not just be helping a stranger, you might be walking into a miracle. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please end more true stories that remind us all of the power of kindness, and remember, kindness costs nothing, but it can change everything.